Hi, everyone. I'm Rebecca Missel. I am the Director of Partnerships and Content at haggadah.com, and I'm joined again today by Ryn Silverstein, our Community Manager. And I'm just going to share a few things here about haggadah.com, and then we'll dive into your questions. So haggadah.com is an organization that invites every Jewish person, regardless of their background, to find a space for themselves in the Passover story so that they can have a more personal and meaningful connection to the Seder and to have more connective Seders. As you'll see in a minute, our website allows you to, and you probably know as folks that have been on the site, allows you to mix and match pieces of content to create your own customizable Haggadah. And I always just like to say that we are a project of Custom and Craft Jewish Rituals, which is a nonprofit design lab for the Jewish community. And we are not just for Passover. We have a high holidays site called highholidaysathome.com, as well as Custom and Craft, which is for year-round holiness and other holidays throughout the year. And we are a nonprofit, and we always welcome your donations in recognition of our work. And with that, I am going to just sort of, this can be a pretty informal session today. If folks have questions, we can start there. And if not, then we can start with a demo of the site. But probably the easiest thing is just if you want to enter any questions you have about haggadah.com and making your Haggadah this year into the chat, and we can go ahead and start there. Great. Okay, so then maybe we'll start with the tour then, since nobody is chomping at the bit with burning questions, but you can also, because we're a relatively small group today, I'm okay with folks, if you want to unmute, if you have a question as we go along. We're small enough when there's 50 people on the Zoom, that gets a little complicated, but I think we can handle that today. Great. So I'm going to share my screen again. Awesome. Can everybody see the haggadah.com homepage? Awesome. I'm going to move this over so I am not switching my face back and forth between, is that still showing the homepage? Okay, great. No. Okay, hold on. I'm going to try this again. Hold on. This is what happens when you get two screens and you have to learn how to use them. Okay, great. So now we're back on the homepage. Awesome. So on the haggadah.com homepage, I am currently logged in, and this means you'll know that you're logged in. Generally speaking, you will see a little smiley face icon when you log into the site. And there's a number of different ways that you can interact with haggadah.com. First, you can start with one of our templates, or you can start with one of our existing Haggadot. This is what we call our featured Haggadah section. And these are really our most popular, most loved Haggadot. They're a really great way to get a sense of the site, and they offer a really broad range of options for your Seder. And I'm just going to pause 1 second. Hi, everybody who's just joining. We're just doing a quick demo of the site. As people have questions, you can put them into the chat after we do the demo, and we'll go from there. So again, on the haggadah.com homepage, you'll see all of these different sort of curated Haggadahs that are some of our favorites. You can use any one of these that are on the homepage as your template for your Haggadah. So if I want to start here with the Friend Seder, which is a sort of fun, irreverent Seder from our friends at The Well in Detroit, and is really great, especially if you're hosting a sort of Friendsgiving, Friend Seder type of a meal. You can use this Haggadah as your template. So that means I can make my own Haggadah. I can give this a title. This is going to be Rebecca's Friends Haggadah. I can invite people to collaborate with me. So maybe I'll invite Ryn. And I can make my Haggadah public or private. It's important to note If you make your Haggadah private, that's totally fine, but you won't be able to invite collaborators because it's private. And if you make it public, it's important to note that anything that you put on the site may be indexed by Google and will make it Googleable, searchable. So that's just important to note. If you have, sometimes young people put pictures and things on here that maybe they didn't want to be publicly viewable in 10 years from now. So that's just something to think about as you create your Haggadah. And then I just hit next, and I'm in here on my edit screen. You'll always know you're editing as opposed to viewing because the word edit will be here in this URL. From this edit screen, I have a lot of different things I can do. I can add additional clips. So maybe I want to add in a clip, is a individual piece of content. So as opposed to a Haggadah, which is more of a booklet, a clip is almost like an article if you think about it in a magazine. It can have an image, it can have a video, it can have music, or it can just have text. So let's say I want to add a clip to my Kadesh section. I can either pick from clips that I have myself created, because it says here, my clips. I can select clips that I have bookmarked. So maybe I want this traditional Kadesh. I'm going to hit select. Or maybe I want some community clips, so clips that other folks have contributed. So maybe this Kabbalistic Kavana. So an intention for my seder from Koach Fraser. And I hit add selected clips. And now these clips are here in my Haggadah. Maybe I want to move them around. I can move this to come first. I can also move things to different sections. So maybe I actually want to start my seder with this kavanah, as opposed to having it during the after the Kiddush. So I can move it to the introduction section. And now here it is in the introduction section of my Haggadah. I can take clips out. So maybe let's come down to a different section. Maybe I don't like this cup 2. I'm going to take it out. Or maybe I'm just having a quicker seder and there's sections of the Haggadah that I'm just like, you know what? It's okay. This part isn't as meaningful for me. And I'm going to not focus on that section of the Haggadah. Or maybe there's sections that are really important to me. Maybe gratitude is very important. So I'm going to spend a lot of time on the Hallel section, which I argue is probably one that gets a little bit ignored because it's after the meal, and everything after the meal gets ignored a little bit in the Seder. So maybe I want to add more there. And again, I can add, this quote here from Heschel. I can add this piece about responsibility. And again, they get added into my Haggadah. If I want to create a new, a couple of quick things first. I can share my Haggadah. We've just added a lot of different ways to share, which is great. And again, that's only applicable if your Haggadah is public. We have it shareable through Facebook, Twitter. This here just means the link. So this will copy the link for you. You just hit copy and it will copy it to your clipboard, and then you can paste it in an email or on something else. You can also share via WhatsApp. It'll directly email it to somebody. Pinterest, I'm not exactly sure who this little guy is. And then SMS is text. And then there's other options if you click here, including Messenger and other options. You can again invite friends to collaborate here. So maybe I forgot to add Rin earlier and I want to add her here. So I can add here, and then I want to include a message. So I can say, hi, Rin, so excited to partner with you on our Seder this year. And that'll send her an invite. But I've already sent it to her, so we'll pretend that I didn't, and then it goes, or I'll send it to. Great. And then and you'll see here at the bottom, it says invitation sent to collaborator successfully. I can preview how this Haggadah is looking. This is preview mode. And again, I'll know it's preview because edit is no longer here in my URL. And I can scroll through my Haggadah. and sort of see how everything looks. To me, if this was my Seder, I would say, oh, you know what? I'd like more pictures. This has some pictures. I'd like more. Maybe I want to add a clip here with more pictures. Also, if I'm like, wow, you know what? This herstory, our story is really speaking to me. I want to make sure I save this. I can add it to my favorites there by clicking that little star. And I can also add it to another Haggadah if I want. And this will show me all the Haggadot in my library. There's a lot here because this is our admin account. You will likely only have, 2 or 3 Haggadot appearing there. You can again share from here. You can look at it in portrait mode instead of in landscape, which I personally like a lot. I think it prints more easily at times that way. And then the most critical thing is that you can from here download. When you download, you'll see this screen pop up. You'll be invited to make a donation. Like I said, we are a nonprofit, and so donations like yours are the largest source of funding for haggadah.com's operations. If that's not accessible for you, we totally understand. And keeping our resources free is very important for our organization, for anybody who needs it. And so you can simply just click the word download next where it says donate, and your booklet is available. Most booklets are available as either a Word doc or a PDF in portrait mode. You can also print it as a booklet. This one, just as a note, must be printed double-sided. It will come up in your preview mode upside down, backwards, and funky because it's designed to be printed back to back, to be printed double-sided and then folded into like a half-size booklet. So like a 4x6 instead of a traditional 8.5x11 piece of paper, which is funny. We had a call the other day with one of our developers who's based in Europe, and I had to remember that A4 and 8.5x11, I think, are about the same size of paper as in Europe, but we don't have A4 here in the US. So that's how to create your Haggadah. You can also use the site to search through our library. And again, all of these Haggadot are available. Let me come back here to the homepage. The other option is you can click from the homepage on this red button, and this will allow you to make a Haggadah from one of our sort of set templates. So we have a secular Haggadah, which is put together from resources from the Congress of Jewish Secular Organizations and the Society for Humanistic Judaism, amongst some other contributors. We have a liberal Haggadah, which is, I would say, sort of reform-ish. It's created by Jewish Boston. It has all of like sort of the big parts of the Seder, like the Manishtana, like the Kiddush, the prayer itself in Hebrew with transliteration, but the other sections it might not have in Hebrew. And then the traditional template has almost all of the Haggadah in both Hebrew and English. I believe some parts are transliterated, some are not. So this is a great Haggadah for folks who are more comfortable with a lot of Hebrew. And if that is not you, great, we have other options. We also have a blank Haggadah. So if you are really ready, you've got 11 days left until the first Seder, you're ready to roll up your sleeves and make something totally your own. The blank is a great place to go. And again, these featured Haggadot are a wonderful place to sort of curate your content from. I really love this minimalist one. It's not necessarily designed as an interfaith Haggadah per se, but it does a great job at sort of keeping it very simple. It's a very straightforward Haggadah. No pictures, so it's a good template to start with if you want something that has sort of all of your bases covered, but maybe is going to be still a quick Seder. I think you can probably get through this one in about 30 to 40 minutes. Excuse me. So again, wonderful for those types of Seders where you want maybe more explanations and things like that. We have a few new ones this year. Our Heroes Haggadah is by Esther Kostanowitz. It's really fun. It is, she's also our person who created our Schitt's Creek Haggadah last year. And it is full of all of your favorite superheroes, larger than life characters. And I think Jerry Orbach from Law and Order may also make an appearance in there. I guess he's a personal hero of Esther's. And this is one, it still covers all of the Seder, but it has just a lot of fun pieces in it. We are releasing a Golden Girls Haggadah in the coming days by podcaster and writer H. Alan Scott. And then the other new piece that we have is this Mission from Moses, which is only available as a PDF. This is a great thing if you have older kids, so maybe I would say later elementary school, middle school, and they're into role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons or Settlers of Catan, things like that. This is an Afikoman Hunt reimagined as a role-playing game, and it is a standalone downloadable guide created by David Lowy, and the PDF sometimes take an extra minute to load, so just bear with me. All right, I'm going to not share this, but I will let our developers know that maybe that one's taking a little bit longer to load. But what it's great for, I'm a big fan of this piece for a second Seder. If you've got a family, you want to have a second Seder, but maybe you don't want to have a traditional second Seder and you want to just completely break all the rules and do something different. This game is a wonderful way to still sort of tell the story of the Exodus, but not have it be sitting at a table the whole time. I will say it is for folks who are more comfortable with either writing or using dice on the holiday. If that's not you, maybe you want to save this for Sunday night, the third night of Passover, or one of the nights during the week as a fun family activity. I'm going to pause 1 second and stop sharing and just see if folks have any questions based on what we've been through so far. And again, this is a small enough group, folks can unmute if you'd like. None? Okay. Is there anything that you're like, I will also share real quick just to make sure.
Sorry, there's a question in the chat, Rebecca.
Okay, great. Can you add to all of the Haggadah? Great. Thank you, Ran. Yes and no. So if something is a PDF, so for the biggest ones are going to be, the most popular one that's like ones that are PDFs are the coloring book and the Dayenu Seder. So the Dayenu Seder is a 10-minute Haggadah. I'll share my screen again. That is put together by our partners at the Jewish Grandparents Network. That's right here. Because of the design elements in this Haggadah, it is not mix and matchable. Same thing with the coloring book Haggadah. However, I don't know, it's not here, but if you search for it, you can always search for a Haggadah here on the clip search. Rin, can you put that link in the chat, please, for folks?
Sure, one.
Thanks. So if you just search here for Haggadah coloring, there is a coloring pages Haggadah. There it is. And this one will still give you that coloring, all those fun coloring pages. And you can mix and match different ones. So you can add these two, or you can put in other elements. And I think this has more coloring pages than the traditional coloring book Haggadah. But other than that, yes, all of the Haggadah, once you add them to your own library, they can be mixed and matched. So if you're just looking at it, again, if you're just looking at one, you can't change. Mine shows edit because I'm here logged in as our admin. But if I was just logged in as a regular user, that edit button wouldn't show. But again, if you want to add to any Haggadah, normally you would just use this one as your template. If there's something else that you're seeing on the site that maybe was created by another user and you're not able to add it, to use it as your template, you can always shoot us an email and let us know. And we can add that or let you know if there's another similar Haggadah that is usable as a template. Great question.
So you can save stuff to your like to your own library, like your own account on the site, and that's all a free feature.
Yes, everything on the site is a free, right now, everything on the site is a free feature.
Cool.
Let me just make one quick note here for myself. Great. Yes, so what you'll do to find any Haggadah that you've saved or used is you'll come here, and again, this will appear generally for most folks as a smiley face and not a logo unless you've added an image or something for your account. But you'll go to my dashboard, and you'll be able to see here all the Haggadahs that you've created and any that you've saved. So if you see something that somebody else created, some of these are very old, but if you see something that somebody else has created that you really like, you can just save this. So let me show you how that works. Hold on. So let's go to one that I maybe don't have. I believe, yeah, there it is. If you hit the star, it'll save that to your library. And then you can come back here. Go ahead,
So
Doug. Yeah.
So the public ones are just ones that anybody has made that they've chosen to make public?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And is there like, is it like most starred, or is it just like a free for all?
So I would say the ones that are on the homepage, there it is here. Hold on. So now it's saved here in mine. I would say, yeah, so we're having issues with the PDFs. It's Alana, just real quick. Yes, thank you for letting us know. I know we're doing some major site updates while we're on this call. So I will make sure that that is addressed as soon as we're off. So yeah, so anything that somebody makes public on here can be saved. The ones that you see on the homepage are curated by us, like regular folks. There's, thousands and thousands and thousands of Haggadah on the site. Like I'm going to guess probably 50,000 Haggadahs saved on the site altogether. No, I don't show all of them to everybody and to be honest, many of them are wonderful. And what they are is essentially somebody who took our liberal, more often than not, somebody took the liberal Haggadah template. They added a few family photos or a few personal interpretations or customs, and it's 99% the same as some of the other ones. These ones here are the ones that we really love the most, that we are either new or are very sort of timeless and well loved by our users. And so that's what we put here. But you can always search for example, a Justice Haggadah. So there are 123 altogether, but I would say these, first few are the ones that we've either curated or have made, featured. You can sort by featured. And so you see here, there's 3 that are featured ones. Also, you can usually tell if you see here, I know it's not that big, but it says here by Religious Action Center. So that's, an arm of the Reform movement that is all about social justice. Same thing with Jews for Racial and Economic Justice. So the by section will also help you know sort of a bit of how do I want to say it, like mark on it to know, as opposed to, I'm sure, every David Cohen on the site has made a wonderful Haggadah. And that's, that's a way to find out the difference there. You can also go to, if you're looking for Haggadot that are made by sort of our featured contributors, this is another good, Rin, if you can put this link in the chat too, please. This contributors page, these are our partners who have shared their content with us. And this is some of, again, like what we think is some of the best content on the site. So if you know that there's something that you're interested in, this can be a great way to find content. We have a lot this year. I'll pull them up. The National Library of Israel is a new partner for us, and they've done incredible work sharing from their unbelievable archive of content. They have, hundreds and hundreds of years of content, including poetry, images, historic images. And then what's really cool, this is like an excerpt from a Haggadah from 1728 in Hamburg. And, we were able to get this image out of it. So it's something that maybe if your family has a connection to a specific community, or just there's a history buff in your family, then that's a great place to go. And I would say the contributors page, if you're looking to just in general add a little flavor or character to one of your, to a more standard Haggadah, like that minimalist one, then this can be a great place to go, especially if you know that there's something that you're really interested in, whether it's LGBTQ, this JQ International has a lot of content. If there's something on, global issues, the American Jewish World Service, as well as B'chol Lashon has a lot of content for Jews of color. So yeah, I think this is like a real trick to me page when you want to have like a bit more personality for your Haggadah, that this page is a great place to go. Any other questions as we kind of go? And also share, these are some other really great pages to visit. This is our How It Works page. And so this is just a good place to start. If you're on the site and you have some questions, how do you print? Great question, Roberta. I will get there momentarily. And thank you, Ren, for putting that in the chat. So this is has some tutorial videos about how to start your Haggadah, add clips, create your own clips. So similar to what we covered already. So since this has gone down to print your Haggadah, and there was a question in the chat, so let me come, let's come back here. We'll pick on this one because it loads very quickly because there's no pictures hardly in it. So when you go to download, you'll hit download. You can download it as a Word document or a PDF. It will save that file to your computer, and then you can open that on your computer and print. Again, I find doing it in portrait mode works best on most printers. Something like this Haggadah in particular works really well because there's no weird print space questions. There's no, things overlapping and things like that. So that is a great one. Oh, wonderful. The Lab Shul Seder. I'm a Lab Shul partner personally. I will, we can pop into that one if you want as well. I'll just real quick come back. In addition to the How It Works page, we have these FAQs, and this is just another really helpful page. Most of these questions that we have here come from our users, right? They are questions that have been asked many, many times. And so we like to put them here for everybody. So there's a number of answerable things here. So this is a great place to come to if you're stuck on something before you email us. This is a great place to come. If, however, you're still stuck, we always welcome your questions. info@haggadah.com is the place to send that. And we we are a small team. Rin and I are doing most of the answering of questions at this moment, especially Rin. So we do try to answer everything within 24 hours, knowing that sometimes on Shabbat, things might take a little bit longer. I am going to show that Seder from Lab Shul real quick, and then I have one other new feature to share. Way. Nope. Okay. Then it. That's interesting.
Oh, it has no hyphen. It's
but it should be. Yeah. No, but it should have come up there. It's not coming up at all. I'm not quite sure.
I have it up on my screen.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. So if you just
can you put the link in the chat, and then I'll open it up there. Thanks. I don't know. Maybe they changed it and I have to update it on our end. This is great. This is also really wonderful, testing for us. Great. Thank you. Oh. It would help if I clicked on the right thing. Great. So yeah, so this is the 2021 Seder from Lab Shul. And yeah, Alana, you can use this as your template if you wanted to. And then you can update anything that refers to 2021. So such as like here with this ingredients and Seder plate, maybe we're feeling, I'm sure some of us are still feeling mid-pandemic and some of us are feeling at some other stage of the pandemic. So what you can do is, again, use this as your template. And if you wanted to edit, well, you won't be able to edit this clip directly. What you can do is, if you, Alana, wanted to make this for your Seder, is you can just copy and paste this into a new clip. So you would just copy and then come to your dashboard. You can also categorize your clip. I didn't show this before with anything. And this makes it also easier for other users to find. We just added a new category here for Ukraine because we know a lot of folks are going to be looking for that this Passover. So that's an area you can look for. Maybe we'll do movements and we'll do renewal. And then I can add this text here and then just change the number. And then I'm going to say lab shul is the source. And then I can save this. Maybe I want to save this to the new Haggadah I just started. So my Rebecca Friends Haggadah, I'm going to add this there. And then I can view it there. And there it is. Does that make sense there?
Yeah, that's great.
Great. I'm going to share one other thing real quick before we answer any other questions. So we are really excited. Haggadah.com has partnered with One Table, which is an organization helping people sort of fall in love with the practice of Shabbat dinners every Friday. And they are an event hosting platform. And I am going to just briefly log out of the system so that I can adequately show you. We are launching this. It is, if not already, if not by the end of this call, it'll be up later today. So you are some of the first folks to be seeing this, which is really exciting. Give me just one second. Nope, hold on. Great. Okay, and you can tell I've changed accounts because now I have this smiley face similar to what anybody else would have. So what's really exciting is now you can click find an event on the haggadah.com homepage, where you can visit this site, haggadah.com/Passover-events, and find events to attend this Passover. So for example, this webinar is here on the site, as well as events in cities all over the country. All of our upcoming webinars are here, including this session on Thursday evening with Rabbi Arthur Waskow and Rabbi Phyllis Berman. Rabbi Arthur Waskow is a creator of the Freedom Seder. So we're really excited to have him and Phyllis back to talk about environmentalism and the climate crisis. And so you can search for events here. You can filter by location. So if I'm just looking for events, for example, in Pennsylvania, I can find just events in Pennsylvania. I can also filter by whether or not things are virtual, by theme. If I'm just looking for a women's Seder, it might not show. Great. So this is all, any women's Seders. Also, that there are certain events that will not be open to everybody. These are able to be private, and I'll show you how to make one in just a second. But you can search for just open Seders. And this will probably show me a lot of things because most of the things on here are not people's personal events yet. But you can post your family Seder here on the site, which we're really excited about. So how do you make an event? So you can click here again on your smiley face icon. You can either go to your dashboard or you can go just to host event. Great. So what type of an event will this be? You can say open, which means this is really for a large community gathering. So if you're part of a synagogue or another community organization and you want to have an event that's open to anybody, this is a great option. Host approval is usually great for your sort of family seder type of a thing. Or maybe you're open to having a few new folks, but you want some control over that. Invite only is, again, I have the email address of everybody who's coming to my seder, and I'm only inviting them. There's also a solo option. This is partly because of the post-pandemic. If people just want to sort of have a self-care seder, but they want to have the fun of making a whole event of it, they can. So let's go with an invite only. All gatherings will be, you have to just say sort of, if it's virtual, in person, if it's indoors, it's up to you to decide sort of what your comfort level is with vaccination and accessibility and indoor versus outdoorness. Although I'm sure for some folks, the weather is a determining factor in indoor versus outdoor as well. But let's say we're going to say outdoors without a vaccination required. You'll say where your event is taking place. It can be one of these cities, or it can just be other. I'll say my hometown of Phoenix. The theme of the Seder is going to be an intergenerational. It's going to be actually in Mesa, Arizona. The address won't be visible to everybody, so I'm just going to put in the street and the time zone, because Arizona is special, is its own time zone. I'm going to call this, maybe I'm going to have, it's outside, so maybe we're going to have a large group of people. You can have your event take place anytime in April. This is a new feature. I don't believe it's available in May, but really this is designed for Passover themed events. But we understand some folks, whether you're hosting a mimuna at the end of Passover, or you're just a family that sort of thinks of Passover as a whole week, and you can do that Seder anytime. Great. So maybe we'll do this on the first night. We'll start at 7 p.m. You don't have to put an end time, but you can. You don't have to have an RSVP deadline, but if you do, it has to have a date and time. You're open to having a co-host, and you can hide the guest list from the other guests or not. Agree that it follows any local COVID guidelines wherever you live or wherever the event is taking place. And obviously, if it's taking place online, your guidelines are a bit more loose, so you can do what you want there. For the description, I'm just going to copy this text here just because we need to hit at least 150 characters. But this is really where you'll talk about what is happening at your Seder. Is this a casual family thing? Is this a formal get together? Is this a community event? Are there things that people should bring, or the special clothes they should wear? Is this a pajama Seder? We love a pajama Seder. If this is happening online, or if people need to register for this event, then you can put that detail there. If you are doing something virtually and you want everyone to make sure they have something on hand, maybe it's, please make sure you have fresh herbs. We're really leaning into the springtime element, and we want to make sure everyone has fresh herbs. Great. You can have that handy. And then if you have any extra details, again, if it's something about registration, this is a great place to put registration information. Right. And yes, thank you, Rand. It does not have to be a Seder. You can host anything you want. It can be a class, just a friendly get together during Passover is great too. You can put a link to your Haggadah here. So maybe I'm going to go and I'm going to pick the Heroes Haggadah. And I'm going to make that there. Event tags, I can tag this with anything I want. Maybe this is kid friendly. Maybe this is for, this is specifically, we said multi-generational. So great. Alcohol policy, you can set this however you want, no right or wrong answers. Same with dietary restrictions. And of course, we love any and all dress codes. That is great for however your Seder wants to be. If there's going to be parking available, this is more for community events, but it's also good if you're a person hosting a thing that's open to maybe folks who don't have another place to go, that this is a great way to let them know about parking, about wheelchair accessibility, and then about whether or not the bathroom is accessible. So for example, my apartment is not wheelchair accessible, and there's some parking available. You can provide a menu. This is totally optional. If you're cooking, you can let people know what you're serving. Maybe there's going to be macaroons for dessert. And as a main course, there's going to be, obviously you would probably have more than just this at your Seder. Maybe you're having a minimalist meal to go with your minimalist Haggadah, but you can add as much or as little as you want there. You can also instead have a potluck and ask folks to bring wine or a salad and how many you need. I'm going to guess we need more than one wine. Maybe we need more than two, whatever it is. You can add these items here. You can also ask your guests a question. This is totally optional as well, but maybe you want to know if there's a Seder ritual folks would like to help lead, or if people have a favorite part of the Seder. It's just a nice way to like engage folks in thinking about the Seder before they're getting together or before the event. You can save it as a draft, or you can submit your event for approval. Oh, I'm sorry. Great. And so this shows me I have one pending event. Our team goes in and approves all events. And that's really just designed to make sure that nothing spam or anything offensive or anything that would be exclusionary to folks. Obviously, a family Seder that is not inviting the public, we would not define as exclusionary, but something that might be hurtful in that way, we'll go in and approve all of the events. And then you'll get a notification. I can look and see if I have any draft events, if there's any ones that I had in the past, and if there's any upcoming or that I've attended. Sure. So I'll stop sharing for 1 second. Yes. So haggadah.com is partnering with One Table, and One Table is an organization that's that has its roots in engaging young adults, specifically in the Friday night experience of hosting or attending a Shabbat dinner. They have really decided that that is their focus, is on that 21-ish to 39-ish crowd. In 2020, they launched a site called Seder 2020 that allowed people of any age group to create a gathering, but still specifically on just for the Seders. And then they launched a site for folks who wanted to host. It was called Here For, and that was more for other types of events throughout the year. This is now a collaborative effort. This website, this event site is powered by One Table's technology. But what we've done is integrated it with the haggadah.com site so that you only have to sign in once, and that all of your content and your events are all available in one space. So if I come back here, hold on, let me share again. If I come back here to my dashboard, hold on, I will have my Haggadah, any saved Haggada's, and then any events that I've created. Now, granted, it's not coming up there because it's pending approval. Okay, we'll figure that out. Good to know. This is, again, we are just launching this today. The other piece I will say is that we have FAQs available for how to create your event here. And again, we'll put that in the chat. Thank you, Rin. Yeah, does that answer your questions about the collaboration, or do you have other questions?
Yeah, that was great. I'm just excited to hear. I'm so excited about all of the collaborations. You just keep growing and growing, which is kind of overwhelming as a user, but it's still very inspiring.
Thank you. If you have, I will say, just like, if there are suggestions that you have as we're growing, one of the things is that we will be this summer after Passover embarking on some site redesigns and rebranding to help streamline that user experience. We always welcome user suggestions for how we can improve that experience. I know one of the questions that comes up all the time, so I will answer it now, is I made this great Haggadah last year. Can I make a copy and save, right? Like a save as. At this point, no, we don't have that functionality. It is high on our list of pieces to add. But if there's other ideas that you have, we always love to hear those. You can always email us. Again, our email is, and I'll put that in the chat. And I actually do keep a running list of all the user suggestions that come through in a year. And then after Passover, we meet as a team with our technology team to go over and see, what people are suggesting, what's feasible, what's more complex than we can add. But yeah, we're really excited about this and looking forward to rolling it out. This is a pilot right now. We're hoping to roll it out to our High Holiday site and our other partner sites as we go. So yeah. Anything else? I can't tell, Doug, if you're raising your hand or you're stretching. Just stretching. Okay. Great. Well, I just again want to, it's the recording. Yes, the recording will be posted on our website by tomorrow, and it'll be emailed to everybody who RSVP'd. And that's what we do for all of our webinars, are always available on our site, on our blog, and they're always emailed to the folks who register. And that's just the easiest way to keep everybody up to date and in the loop. We know that plans change and things happen and folks aren't always able to join. So we do try to keep those things recorded and shared. Any other questions? Great. Then I just want to thank you all so much for joining us here today. And again, to invite you, if you do have more questions that pop into your head after this, just send us an email at info@haggadah.com, and we are always happy to answer your questions there. And we just want to wish you a very happy Passover. Thank you so much.